It's a mixture of things. I don't think there's ever just one thing or one moment. I grew up in an era where I knew about the apartheid struggle in South Africa. That tremendously affected me. The things I read about, particularly the Holocaust, other kinds of injustices, that also affected me. I grew up with a single working class mom who was an immigrant mom, and I saw the kinds of things she was dealing with. I wasn't able to verbalize it or to actually have a concept of the politics around it, but that affected me as well. And I can go on to name a lot of other things, but definitely the anti-apartheid struggle, the different injustices that I learned about, and particularly the Holocaust, and my mom are three things that inspired me, I think, to this day to be active and involved. Well, there's a buzzword that people use, which is intersectionality. It's a bit of an academic buzzword, but what it means is that all causes are linked. So I'm involved with several different things where I feel they're linked together. So I guess the simple answer is migrant justice, indigenous solidarity and sovereignty, fighting deportations and detentions, dealing with police repression. But as I'm answering your question, you see these are all things that are linked. I don't feel unmotivated. I understand that, sometimes you have your ups and downs, but it's the inspiration of people who are involved in struggle day to day and surviving day to day. So for me, it's not abstract. The kind of organizing that I'm doing is like with folks that are dealing with these injustices. When I talked about my mom or I talked about growing up, these are things that I saw myself. And struggle isn't about victories and defeats. It's about the process of fighting for better stuff, for a better world. So sometimes there are lulls, sometimes there are high points, sometimes there are low points. But when you understand that it's the process, then that kind of keeps in equilibrium. And there's no lack of inspiring people. When I say inspiring, people who despite odds are fighting or are struggling back. Right now in Europe, for example, what refugees are doing to assert their self-determination, to try to get to zones of the world where they can be safe, where they can start new lives, that's tremendously inspiring. So I hear about people suffocating in trucks in Austria or who are drowning in the Mediterranean. These are things that just happened in the last couple of days. So that's an outrage, and that's one thing that bothers me. But at the same time, the fact that people continue to fight and struggle despite those odds, despite what's against them, is inspiring. So I don't lack motivation at all. It's just a matter of managing everything that I want to be engaged in rather than lacking motivation.
Perfect. Thank you, Jaggi.
Yeah.